Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, all subscribers, viewers, and supporters of this channel. I am honored to be here for you. Evaluation technique. How to evaluate our list of environmental aspects in order to determine its significance. So we are evaluating its environmental impact from all these aspects. How significant is their environmental impact? This is the evaluation technique, and this video is introducing you the idea with philosophy. Before we go on, I'd like to implore all my Muslims, brothers and sisters, please do not watch this video if you are already in the mosque for the Friday prayers khutbah or attending any religious lessons anywhere in the world. Thank you very much for your cooperation. I wish you Jannatul Naim. Right. Let us continue. Now, this is ISO 14001 version 25, and as practiced in earlier version of the standards, we have to determine whether or what is the level of significance of all our environmental aspects so that we know which environmental aspects from which process needs to be given priority, because all environmental aspects would eventually cause certain kinds of environmental impact, but some impact is not so significant, or some impact, environmental impact, can be negligible, whereas some other environmental impact could be severe, could be high in its magnitude of impact, or these environmental aspects is occurring maybe with a moderate environmental impact but occur over and over repeatedly, meaning frequent. Or there are some environmental impact caused by these environmental aspects is prolonged in its release or in its existence, and that would also cause some kind of accumulated impact. So these are what we're going to talk about when we do evaluation technique. Okay, so let us recap where we are actually uh, in this endeavor for the implementation of environmental management system ISO 14001. So for companies who are about to undergo certification, or who in the verge of implementing the environmental management system, or if our company is already certified ISO 14001, I believe this is an important video for us to refresh, recap, um, and for us to review our implementation of the environmental management system that we have established. Now, before this video, in earlier videos, we have done the identification of environmental aspects. How to identify it is done, and we have used a technique called input-output analysis, and we have done this part there. At this point of time, if you're watching this video, I assume that you have already seen the earlier video called input-output analysis. If you haven't, please, you have the luxury. It's all at the end of your fingertips to click those videos and understand how environmental aspects are being identified. Now, why do we have to identify environmental aspects? Remember, Environmental Management System ISO 14001 version 2015 is an environmental management system that manages environmental aspects. How? By fulfilling compliance obligation and addressing risk and opportunities. Please remember that. That is the definition of environmental management system. But what is environmental aspects that they are managing, that this EMS is managing? Environmental aspects, based on the definition of the ISO 14001 version 2015, is elements of organizational activities, services, and products that interacts or can interact with the environment. All these I have discussed in earlier videos, so please look at those videos. Now we are here where whereby we have identified all our environmental aspects, and we are now trying to determine for our organization which environmental aspect is significant in terms of the nature, magnitude, severity, duration, frequency of their respective environmental impact. Got it? How to do it? This is how we do it. We have to evaluate all our environmental aspects. Once that is done, we will be blessed with a list of significant environmental aspects from which we will compile them in what we call Aspects Impact Register, as what you already have by now at this stage if you're following this video. And only then should we develop our environmental policy, not before. It will be a mistake. All right. And once we have the policy, make sure the policy conjure or matches our list of environmental aspects so that the top management, our company, know what is our environmental concern and position. Got it? And from there, we develop from Aspects Impact Register. Remember, we have got, I will show you shortly, a risk and opportunities. We have got all this and environmental performance evaluations. Only then we will develop our objective and targets. Okay, and then we develop our who, do what, when, and how in order to achieve those objectives and targets. And all this is considered under ISO 14001 as intended outcome. Why? Because intended outcome is about environmental performance. And intended outcome based on this new version of the standard is about fulfillment of compliance obligation and also achieving what we have set for our objective. That is seriously the intended outcome for any environmental management system to qualify for ISO 14001 version 2015 certification. I hope you got it. Okay, let us take a look and go on into this. At this point, you already have what? This table, of course, but most of it is blank. I'm just giving you samples over here. At this point, we already have this column filled up. What? Activities at this point. All right. And we already have identified all our environment aspects. And we also have identified all our environmental impact. All right, and these are all our aspect and impact. This impact might not be accurate, never mind, it's just a sample. The idea is we have identified all our aspect and impact. What we are about to do is this evaluation. This is very important for us to determine. And how we do it, we have all this called evaluation criteria. This is magnitude. This is severity of impact from the environmental aspect. This is the legal obligation for that environmental aspect. This is business concern. I will show you the evaluation criteria, and you can add in anything you want here as an added criteria. Doesn't matter, it makes it more accurate. And we've got clients as an evaluation criteria for our environmental impact. And this is the occurrence. Normal, abnormal, and emergency is our environmental aspect. Would it occur in normal situation, abnormal situation, or emergency situation? We'll discuss that in the next few videos. And also the frequency of occurrence of our environmental impact, and how long does it occur, the duration, and then we have got the score. Once the score is done, then we are able to look at those environmental aspects with a higher score would reflect that it is most significant than the rest. When is the environmental aspect significant? After having all this score, the ISO is quiet. It is the liberty of individual organization to set for itself, for its management system, when their environmental aspects is considered significant, at which score onwards the ISO is quiet. But auditors, when they come to our place, they will ask, and you got to give a good rationale. I hope you understand what I mean. And also we've got risk and opportunities, and also environmental performance. This one I will be doing this in the later part, after I finished all my illustrations for all the at least 3 environmental aspects, to run through all the evaluation criteria. Hopefully I'll get into that. Right. Now, just for the sake of our understanding, okay, I'm sharing with you an old picture. This was taken when I was doing a pre-certification audit for a Japanese company in Johor. This company subscribed to 2, I think, certification bodies. One, the local Malaysian body called SIRIM, and they also subscribe to BESET, UK. So they invited me to have a pre-certification audit. So I'm doing all this, and this company is amazing in terms of compliance, in terms of having a very good management system up in place. They were good, and I was happy actually. And well, I was young, and I was only about 40 odd, and very strong. I can climb, stack ladders, etc. But those days. So I was walking around with the general manager, and we were doing like a 2 days audit, and it was quite thorough. And there are a few minor things that they've got to improve, and maybe I think I remember it was only about 4 or 5 NCR from my side, and they have to close it prior the certification audit. And when we were walking around, I saw that there is something a bit peculiar from my senses personally. I don't see birds flying around. I don't see much, I call them bio indicators, and there's a lot of trees at the perimeter boundary of this particular factory's premise, and those trees are huge, are big, and landscape trees, as you know. And I was observing those trees, and I don't see something which I usually see on a tree surface. I don't see the white patches. Pleurococcus, I believe some of you know this white kind of fungal growth on some kind of saprophytes. It's not parasite, but it's saprophytes. These are all my bioindicators, because these particular kind of algae or mold, you could call it, they are quite sensitive to the air quality, because if the air quality is contaminated, they won't grow on trees. So I was observing all this, and the drains are all very clean. Too good to be true for me. So never mind, I observed all that and I saw no bird's nest. This company has been around for about 20 over years and there's no bird's nest. There's no birds at all, and not even flying over this factory building, because around this area all birds flying. And I've been wondering why that is. So I was walking around and I saw something a bit peculiar. Look at all this stack tip. Look at the tip of the stack. What do you see? It's all blackish color, and these stacks, as I remember, is made from double layer stainless steel, mild steel. I can't remember exactly, but it's steel, and it's supposed to withstand corrosion. But I saw it corroded. And I asked the GM what is coming out from these stacks or exhaust pipes or exhaust outlet. And he said, those are some clean air. Really? From where? It's a dryer oven. Okay. So have you analyzed what is coming out? Because if you look at the tip of this chimney, they are all corroded, black corrosion. And he said he's never done the analysis. So I told them you better take a sample, because before the auditor from BESEC comes in, there will be more questions to answer. And he took a sample. To my surprise, the report came out that the substance that is being released in the form of gaseous releases is phenol. And I think you know phenol. This is a structure, the chemical structure of phenol. I think you know phenol is carcinogenic. It is toxic, immediately toxic to human. At certain dose of phenol, at certain concentration, you can ask safety health officer or industrial hygienist. They would know better than me. Could be lethargic to human. And and I was asking myself, this substance doesn't appear in your aspect impact registers. I've got to issue a 3 NCR for not identifying the environmental aspect and not for not registering the environmental aspect in the aspect impact register, and not conducting a thorough baseline study on all the exhaust tags. Some of them has been done, but some are not. So I've got to issue 3 NCRs based on that. And when we take a look, it is carcinogenic. No wonder you don't see birds flying around on top of this building. And in fact, around the perimeter of this particular building. And that is why these are all colorless. You don't see them. But you got to analyze. And can you imagine, for 20 years, this phenol has been suspended in the air around this area, and how many people has been affected by its existence and pollution state, and how many of them has got into the avionics, and some could be on the ground precipitation, remember, and involving in the hydrological cycles, perhaps in some sulfur cycles, nitrogen cycles, we don't know. I've been wondering. So it is, what turns around comes around. Okay. So based on that, uh, we have to, in our endeavor in evaluating our environmental aspects impact, these are all the criteria that I will discuss. And for that reason, we come up with criteria like magnitude. I will brief what is magnitude, legal, severity of impact, impact to businesses. How does this aspect impact our business, and how long does this environmental aspect being released? Is it intermittent or is it continuous? We got to know all this. And how frequent is this environmental aspects being released? These are some summary, I would say minimal standard to do an aspects impact evaluation. So these are all called evaluation criteria. Okay, these are all called evaluation criteria to evaluate what? Significance of impact that would render the environmental aspects associated to it significant or not. So this company, I believe, is still around, and they have, I think, right now they have got a multiple scrubber system, gas scrubber, so it's good. Okay, and the next video we will start to do seriously the interpretation of all these evaluation criteria that I have set and that I have been using. As you know, I've tested with 17 different categories of industries in this country. And for each category, we have sampled 2 to 5 different factories. And by far, after failures earlier stage in 1996, 97 until 99, then we began to have momentum and have a good grip of all these evaluation criteria, and we have done it until my last job on this, which I think in 2017. And then I don't do an ISO 14000 anymore. I teach people, I teach auditors to do it. So based on that, we will meet in the next video and we'll discuss magnitude, then perhaps severity, etc. Okay, so thank you for your attention, thank you for your time, thank you YouTube, and I wish everybody in Bahasa Melayu semoga dikurniakan kesenangan, keselamatan, kesejahteraan, kebahagiaan dan kejayaan kehidupan di dunia dan di akhirat. All the best to you. Stay safe, keep yourself safe, sanitized all the time. Until we meet in the next video, inshallah, I wish everybody Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.